Well, hello everybody and welcome back to G Bear's Homesteading the Desert. It is September 14th, 2018, and I haven't posted in a few days. Did you miss me? I hope so. Well, anyway, where we're at here is I made a run to the OC and I picked up a bunch of tools I had stored down there that I've been in the need for. So I did go get those. I'll show you some of those in a little while here. But you notice that I got my tee in here on the cold water line and running down to my toilet feed. And I've got a couple more tees over there, but I need two more because I have to tee out of the service lines coming out to these, and then I have to tee back into them again so I can put one set of lines running here and one set of lines running across. So it takes two tees per line there. And that little piece laying on the floor is the one that connects onto the hot there and comes across a little bit further to the hot side of the sink. So I got my little pieces of green board here. The small one there is going to get cut to the same height as that one, and then that goes across from that stud to this stud on the tub side, and then this bigger piece here is the same height as those complete, and that'll pick up from that stud coming across to this stud. So my bathtub is completely enclosed in green board and I'm ready to start doing the rest of my work. So I do have the cartridge pulled out of the valve so that when I'm soldering it doesn't get burnt because they're plastic cartridges. Anyway, I picked up my 10-foot length of pipe here. So tomorrow I'll be adding the final piece between there, and then the shower valve will be connected. And I don't know, I may what I might do is put just an angle stop, a compression fitting angle stop on that stub out right there, and then I'll be able to take a bath. So I've got to have a stop on there so that I can take a shower. So if I decide I want to take a shower, I can always tack a Harbor Freight tarp around the walls here. Just a couple of screws hold it up. Not on a windy day, of course. And then I could stand in there and take a shower. But the outdoor shower is doing its thing. The temps are supposed to go back to normal starting tomorrow. That'll be mid to high 80s during the day and mid to high 50s at night. It was nice and cool this morning when I got up, and I just loved it. So, all right. So there's my orbital sander and my step ladder there, and my router table, so I can cut moldings, and that's my air gun and my router bit set. That's 100 half-inch drive router bits in there, carbide router bits. Then I got my big chop saw over here with the folding rigid roll-away table, so I can pop that thing up and stand it at regular height so I can work off of it. And my rigid vacuum cleaner there. And the rest of the stuff I already stuck back inside the container, but I don't want to put too much in there because I got to peel out everything out of the back end of this container. I'm good about to where the W is, but the rest of that's all got to be cleaned out and organized, and then I'll have room to put these tools inside. So I might get to that this week too. I did go over to Tractor Supply today and picked up some things I needed for the chickens. One of the things was, like when I went to the OC, I only had a 5-quart watering unit hanging there, and that would just barely make a day and a half. So if I was gone 2 days, they didn't have water in there. Of course, they got their automatic water feeders inside and underneath, and they will go to those when they don't have water anywhere else. But they do like drinking out of that unit. So that's a bigger unit there now. That's a 3.5-gallon unit. And I also picked up a bottle of vitamins that you add a couple of scoops to the water every month or so, and that gives them vitamins and helps boost their immune system. As you can see, when I come over this way, they all come out to meet me because they know I'm the guy with the treats. But they already had their treats tonight. I also picked up some really healthy non-GMO feed for them for laying chickens. And I was looking at some new little chicks they had over there. Not right now, but I think by springtime, when they get the spring load in, I may go over and pick up a few more. These girls will be going on 2 years old. So I've got at least another whole year of egg laying out of them. They gave me 13 eggs while I was gone. And I'd already checked today, and there's another half a dozen sitting in there. By tomorrow morning, I'll have another dozen. So I'm not hurting for eggs. And I have been bringing them down to some of my friends down in the OC when I do run down there. All right, my foods are doing good in here. This is an update. I just wanted everybody to know that I'm still alive. I haven't died. And my knee, let's see if I can get it down there, is doing real good. I just have a Band-Aid on it now. It's looking real good. So I'm not limping anymore. I can get along without hobbling. And you can see the critters haven't bothered this one on the outside yet. So I don't know if they can't climb up there or whatever, but it doesn't look like they're getting any bigger. And I gave them some really good water, but they're just not getting any bigger right now. And I can see the leaves are starting to dry out on the trees over there. So it's getting that time of season, but I got to get in there and fertilize everything. That's another thing I got to do tomorrow. My tomatoes, same thing. Everything needs fertilizing. My peppers have some baby peppers on them, so I'll be getting those pretty soon. And I know a couple of you want to see the cloud potatoes get harvest, but those might go another year. The carrots are going to get harvest, and the sunions we're going to get harvest. All right. The other thing I did was have a bunch of my friends and customers down in the OC have been saving their compost for me. And I brought a bunch up, and I've got a real load in here now of some good nitrogen. So there's grass clippings, and those are leaves from zucchini plants and stuff like that. So I'm going to be knocking some of the dirt out of these block here and get it on top of those. And then I'll get a plastic cover over the top of that and let it sweat down a little bit. Of course, now that the winter's coming, the critters will probably crawl under there and make a nice warm home for themselves for the winter. All right, I did clean all my solar panels, and they're collecting just perfectly. And last but not least, before I close this one off, I want to come around the corner here. Apparently, while I was down in the OC, I checked my history on my weather gauge inside, and it said that we had winds out here at upwards of 25 miles an hour. So I hadn't seen anything that strong for a while, so I looked in here at my new little gauge there, and we're looking for the WP on this one, which would be the bottom left corner. And there it is. So the WP on this is now 197.4 watts. So to get almost 200 watts out of a 400 watt turbine, it took winds in excess of 25 miles an hour. What a piece of crap. I am going to dig up the information on that, the people I bought it from, and I'm going to contact them and let them know. I know it has been a year and a half since I bought it. I should have bought this little test unit earlier so that I could have determined this and then sent it back to them with maybe some Vaseline or whatever, and said, hey, this is a piece of junk. I want my money back. But now it's been too long, but let's see. Maybe they're going to honor it to avoid me giving them one heck of a bad reputation. And we'll see. I'll let you know what I do on that. All right. So we got plenty of power. It's still 12.7 in the batteries. I've had fans running all day long. And I started putting this box fan out here by the door because the flies have been ridiculous. And they seem to land right on my screen door. And then when I open the door, they scoot in. And then I'm killing flies inside. So to avoid that, I put a fan there. What I might do is like they do on restaurants and build a little rack to hold it up there on top of the door right underneath the light. The light will still shine through it, but it'll be blowing down across the doorway, and they call that an air curtain, so flies don't get into commercial kitchens. And I'm going to come around the corner here, and you see there's one sitting on the screen door right there just waiting for me to open the door. And they sit around the door too, so oh well. Got my laundry ready to go tomorrow. I picked up a couple more fly sticks. I put those out there in the chicken coop too. And one of them was completely smothered with flies, but the winds in excess of 25 tore that thing down and dropped it into the run, so I'll have to clean that up. And it also shredded my blue tarp on the top of the chicken coop. But I've got a camouflaged one, and I'm going to take that sunscreen off and use that over on my garden house. And then I'll put the camouflage one, will run the whole length of that because the weather's going to change now, and that'll keep the rain off of their runs so that they don't have to hunker down in the coop all day long. They can come outside and walk around if they want and get some exercise. All right, G Bear signing off.